Welcome to the Thin Within podcast, the show for women who want mental secrets for weight loss mastery. I'm your host, Marna Thall. I'm the owner of thinwithin.com, and I'm here to give you the inside scoop on how to lose weight by mastering your inner game. Diets never worked for me long term, and if you're like 95% of the rest of the human race, they haven't worked long term for you either. Every week, I'll give you tools, techniques, and resources you need to actually succeed in using the power of your mind to lose weight. I can't wait to teach you another mental secret, so let's dive right in. Well, hello, everybody. It's great to be back with you after this long weekend. I am so excited to share with you 5 easy things you can do when your weight goes up and you want to pull your hair out because you're sick of it. So I have to tell you, my weekend went totally haywire. Sadly, on Friday, we got news that my aunt had unexpectedly passed. And it threw, obviously, our entire weekend and everything into a crazy tailspin. Not to mention the week before, which was amazing and incredible. And so it was a whole week and weekend filled with lots of emotions. My daughter graduated 5th grade, which was amazing. And we had tons of events. And then sadly, we got this news. And so it was filled with lots of family, with lots of support, with lots of emotions, as you can imagine. And whether you've had an amazing weekend, partying, having a great time, or you feel like you were a little out of control with your eating, wherever you are right now, it is totally fine because we are going to address it right now. So I want to give you 5 things you can do when you kind of feel out of control. And I got to tell you, this last weekend or so has just not been my regular eating routine. And you know what it's like when you feel like, oh, this has just been so many parties, so many events. And you just kind of want to get back to who you are and what you normally do. And you want to pop off some pounds because I can definitely feel, I don't know about you, but I can definitely feel that I'm swollen and I'm just feeling like I'm not feeling my best self. And that does not feel good. But instead of panicking, which is oftentimes what we want to do, or we want to do something really extreme, I want to give you some things that you can do just to let's really hunker down, center you, ground you, and get you taking action from a place of abundance, not lack. This is exactly what I did for myself to get myself grounded, to get myself clear, and to get myself in action to lose some of this salt, this bloat, this feeling of just blah, and getting myself back into the right headspace. So number 1, I really love using the breath to calm and center yourself. Then what I like to do is to take 3 breaths in through my nose and exhale anything that doesn't serve me, any sadness, any feelings, any pains, any frustrations. I just like to let them go. So I take 3 deep breaths in through my nose and I exhale anything that doesn't serve me in my exhales. And then what I like to do, number 2, once I've taken these 3 breaths and centered myself, is to get out a piece of paper and get clear about what is working and what's not working. A lot of times you think, oh my gosh, I have to uproot my whole life and change everything. When in actuality, many of you, most of the time, you have so many things that are actually working for you. You have so many things that are working. There's just a few little things that haven't worked for you. And so what I like to do is I like to break them down by meals. How are my breakfast meals? How are my lunch? How are my dinner? Anything that's not working there, and looking at what is really working. And what you'll notice is most of the time what I see with most of my clients is that breakfast is one of those times that often isn't much of an area for the majority. Lunch can be one of those times where you might be eating too quickly or find yourself overeating or find yourself grabbing foods that don't work really well in your body. And then I like to look at dinner. Is that an area where there might be some overeating, might be too much restaurant eating that's providing you with some of that bloat with too much salt, or you just feel like, oh, the choices that I'm making around dinner have not really been supporting my body. And then I like to look at after dinner. How am I showing up after dinner? Is that a time where I'm snacking, turning to sugar, overeating, not filling myself up with enough fluids? And then I also like to look at water. How am I doing with my basic needs for water? Am I staying hydrated? If I'm not, there could be an opportunity for me to drink more water. And then another opportunity for you to look at is your sleep. How are you doing with sleep? Are you getting enough sleep? Are you staying consistent with your scheduling of sleep? Are you feeling like your schedule's really out of whack, or some nights you're getting a lot of sleep and other nights you're not? And so I start to look at ways that I can start being more consistent with my water intake and my sleep. And then the third thing I look at is movement. And so it's looking at my movement, getting back into a routine that feels really good. So for me, one of the things that I did is I just scheduled out my workouts for the week so that I know that I'm going to do those workouts. And I also gave myself a little bit of a mix of my movement. So things that are a little more intense, along with things that are a little less intense, so that I could mix things up and make sure that I'm taking care of my body and my mind, and making sure that I'm not going way too intense, but also not way too relaxed, kind of this nice mix. And so I just scheduled those out to help support me for this next week ahead. So that's the second thing I do. When I'm doing the second piece of looking at and getting clear of what's working and what's not working, I also look at things like, is the food that I'm eating working for my body? If it's not, then I look at what simple changes can I make. We've eaten out a fair amount and it's just not serving me and it's not feeling good. And I think there have been times where, because I'm feeling sad or feeling a little disconnected, I've eaten too much. So I really this week want to pay attention of really making sure that I'm not overeating and making sure I'm having really good, whole, real foods. And I'm eating portion sizes that just are a little bit more in alignment with what makes me feel good. I'm staying more connected to my body. And so those are all the things that I do to get clear about what's working and what's not working. Then when I just lay out what's working and what's not working, then what I do is number 3, I create a doable plan that's easy for me to follow and address. And it addresses these areas that are not working, but it does so in a really doable way. So if going out to eat is something that you do a fair amount, then you want to create that into your week and looking at a doable plan that's easy to follow for you. That may mean something like, instead of getting a large fry, you get a small fry. Instead of getting a hamburger with the bun, you get a hamburger and you take one of the buns off, or you get it in a lettuce wrap, or you remove the Diet Coke, or you remove something that doesn't work as well for your body. Start looking at easy ways to start removing some of the things that I've been doing that will fit into my life. Because when you create something that's so over the top, oftentimes our brains really just want to go into action, and it wants to do something really dramatic because it's coming from a place of lack. It's coming from a place of, oh my gosh, I feel terrible. I don't like the way I look. I don't like the way I feel. So I want to do something really crazy. But the problem is oftentimes that part of your brain that wants to do something really crazy, really bold, really insane isn't doable, isn't sustainable. And so that's why I always look at, is this doable? Is this sustainable? Is this what my future self can do? Is this something that I can feel proud of, but also something that I can feel good about doing and good about sustaining? Because we've all been there. We've done these crazy things, and it's like, I've eliminated sugar and I've eliminated dairy and I've eliminated all these things. And what happens is then in that elimination process, 2, 3, 4 weeks later, I might be feeling a little bit better, but then I'm feeling deprived and I'm feeling like I'm going to go bonkers and crazy. And then that's what ends up happening. So we don't want to set ourselves up for binges. We don't want to set ourselves up for late night overeating patterns. We don't want to set ourselves up for gaining even more weight. We want to set ourselves for doable weight loss that's easy to follow, that addresses your body's needs and your mind's needs. Remember, it is not just about your body, it's about your mind. The next thing I do after I create a doable plan that's easy for me to follow, that addresses any of the areas that aren't working for me that I would like to improve upon, then the next thing I look at is number 4. I plan for my inner dialogue to put up a fight. And I have a plan to address that part of myself. So if you felt like, wow, this weekend was really tough, the last couple of weeks, I put on a little bit of weight, I'm not loving how I look or feel, and you've done number 1, and you've done number 2, and you've done number 3, now let's plan for your inner dialogue. What are you going to tell it? And work through that inner dialogue that might put up a fight. Most of the time, it puts up a fight when you are coming to an end of a meal and it wants more food, or at night for dinner where you just want to eat more, or after dinner when you just want to have something sweet or you want to relax and calm down and your brain is like, come on, let's just do it. Let's just eat. It doesn't matter. We'll start tomorrow. Come on. And it says all of those words and phrases. We have to plan for our inner dialogue, for that inner 2-year-old part of you that might put up a fight and might want foods that are not part of what you want to plan. It's not part of your doable action items. And so making sure that you plan for that inner dialogue is crucial, crucial. Knowing that there's that part of you that may put up a fight, and what are you going to say to that part of you? What are you going to do when that part of you starts to put up a fight? So make sure you have a plan for that inner dialogue, okay? And then lastly, number 5. Don't forget to celebrate yourself as you're getting back into the groove of your weight, of your body, getting some of that bloat, those pounds off. It's important to remind yourself how awesome you're doing. Remind yourself that you're a badass and you can totally kick off this weight. Remind yourself how great you're doing. Let yourself see it. Use your calendar. Use celebration and reward. That's a big part of the Thin Within method. It's a big part of what we do all the time, is making sure that you are celebrating yourself, rewarding yourself, making this fun so that your brain recognizes that it wants to keep doing it. If you were teaching a little kid how to read and you're telling them what a bad job they're doing, you think they're going to want to learn how to read? But if you reward your kids and you say, great, you just read this page. If you read 5 pages, we're going to go do some happy dance. We're going to go ride our bikes together. We're going to go to the toy store and I'm going to give you $3 and you can go buy something really great. Aren't they going to want to read? They're going to be excited for it. But how often do we just tell ourselves, we got to lose this weight and there's no reward built in? You just tell yourself you got to lose more weight. Come on, let's just keep losing more. You have more to lose. Yeah. Those 5 pounds were great, but come on, you have 15 more, 80 more, 100 more to lose. Got to build in rewards. Celebrate yourself for staying on track, for creating a plan, for doing this work, for not overeating 1 meal or 2 meals or 3 meals. Make sure you build in reward and fun. This is a really important part of the process. I know I tell you this all the time, and the reason being is that it is a crucial part of habit formation. And when you're wanting to create new habits, you're wanting to create a new way of showing up for yourself, then let's build in reward. So let's review the 5 easy things you can do when your weight's popped up a little bit, you want to pull your hair out, you're feeling out of control, it feels uncomfortable, you don't feel very happy about how things are going. Number 1, stop. Take a breath and ground yourself. Center your body, center your mind. Number 2, you're going to get clear of what's working and what's not working. Not everything is broken. Stop telling yourself you're totally broken, that everything is wrong. It's not. Do a mini assessment. Look at how is breakfast, lunch, dinner, after dinner, weekends going? How is your consistency? How is overeating? How is snacking? Are the foods you're putting into your body working for your body? Or are you feeling like they are creating bloat, discomfort? How is your water intake? How is your sleep? Do a mini assessment and see where you could improve. And then number 3, you create a doable plan that's easy to follow. I take a little bit less food. I eat foods that are real and whole and feel really good in my body. Create a doable plan. You don't have to go crazy. And I don't want you to have so many items on your doable plan that you get overwhelmed. Because as you know, a confused mind does what? Nothing. It freaks out. It stays stable. So, a doable plan should have 2 or 3 things on it that you're going to focus on for the week. That is it. You are making a doable plan. Then 4, you plan for your inner dialogue starting to put up a fight. What are you going to say to it? What are you going to do if it starts to put up a fight? Usually it puts up a fight when it's exhausted and tired, and that's later at night into the evening. It's when it doesn't want to do what it wants to do, when it feels exhausted, when it feels like it's worked hard, then it's like, I'm tired, just give me chocolate. What are you going to tell that part of yourself? What are you going to do? And then lastly, celebrate. When you get in front of that inner dialogue, when you see yourself stopping sooner and not overeating, when you recognize that you've avoided snacking too much, when you've eaten foods that work well for your body, how are you going to recognize yourself and reward yourself? Do you even know what you're doing that's right? That you're doing that is improving yourself and your weight and your body? Oftentimes, I have my clients write 3 to 5 things down that they've done really well for their weight and their body. That gives them an opportunity to start stretching out of their brain around what isn't working to be looking at what is working. So, have a plan to reward yourself. How are you going to reward yourself? Oh, I'm going to eat some vegetables, and after 3 meals of having meals that have a lot of vegetables, I'm going to celebrate myself and I'm going to get myself some new underwear. Whatever, take care of yourself. You're going to watch a new show. You're going to read a book. You're going to go get a journal, whatever it is, celebrate, build fun and reward into this process. And then you will have a doable, fun, easy process that you will feel great about when you go hit the scale 4, 5, 6 days from now. And if you need help, if you're not feeling so great about your weight and you need a plan, get the Thin Within method. I will have a link below. The price is crazy reasonable. You will get your first training right away to take action on. I will send you notes if you're a visual, so you'll get auditory stimulation, you'll get visual stimulation, you'll get a plan for this week, and I will help you lose weight. Stop waiting. If you haven't taken this course, it's time to take it. Let me help you. I've made it more than reasonable. So let's take action and start seeing results. All right? All right, everybody. Have yourself an amazing, amazing day. I'm sending you so much love. All right. Use this plan. It will help you. It will support you. And then go take the Thin Within method. All right. Sending you lots of love. Bye, everybody.